Damn Patriots lost and the Bears won again. Oh, hey guys. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Boston Chris podcast. This is Josh Grider week here on the show. Man, I am so excited to finally get to chat with the incredible singer-songwriter originally from Las Cruces, New Mexico, by the name of Mr. Josh Grider. Now, we've already had one half of the Topo Chico Cowboys here on the show in Mr. Drew Kennedy. We've had Mr. Josh Grider's better half, I think he would agree, Miss Christy Grider on the show. And so it's only natural that we get to pick the brain of Josh Grider as well. Just an incredible singer-songwriter who makes his home in Central Texas now. Let me tell you a little bit about Josh, and then we'll get right into our conversation with him, which, by the way, includes not one, but two live performances from a recent show at the Winsboro Bowery stage in Winsboro, Texas. The Texas by way of New Mexico artist is hitting his stride at just the right moment. Pandemic be damned, there is music to be made. After a year of waiting for the world to return to some kind of normal, Grider is firing on all cylinders despite the circumstances. March 2026, we will have the first Josh Grider project in 5 years since 2021. A brand new EP is on the way, and a new single is also out that just recently released called Broke. We talk about both of those things here on the show today. We talk about where he came from. We chat about the Bears and the Patriots. Whew. They kind of did a Super Bowl thing about 41 years ago or so, or 40 years ago. Wow, it has been 40 years since 1985. We won't talk about that. We are extremely excited to talk to Josh, even though he's a Bears fan and I'm a Patriots fan. He's a good dude, even though, right? And but yeah, let's get into it with Josh. We're going to talk songwriting, producing the new record, the new single, his relationship with some pretty incredible songwriters, his songwriting process, and so much more. We get to chat with the one and only Josh Grider right here on the Boston Chris podcast. Y'all freaking check it out.
It's time to chat. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to chat. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hey y'all, this is Scott Sean White, and thank you for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.
Guys, we've got Josh Grider here on the Boston Chris podcast for the first time. This, I got to tell you, Josh, this is a moment for me, man. I'm a big fan of yours, have been for a long time, and we started podcasting in 2017. And like your entire circle, I've been wanting to chat with for a long time. You and Christy and Drew and Walt and everybody, man. It's so cool to finally get to chat with you guys about what you do. Courtney as well. How you been today, man? How you doing?
Man, it is a Monday as far as I can tell.
It is.
And it's been a good Monday. I had a couple shows this weekend. We're just closing out 2025. And yeah, just Mondays are usually answering emails. Just they're usually home days for me. Just getting stuff done. I went to the eye doctor, just knocking out the
Yeah.
normal stuff you got to do.
The honeydew list almost, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Man, yeah, Mondays are like that, man, especially in this business, right? Like, you just get flooded with stuff on Mondays. Because it feels like it's almost like Chick-fil-A in the music business on the weekends, man. Like, nobody works on the weekends except for the actual musicians.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the business shuts down, but the business is actually getting done on the weekends.
Yeah,
But
yeah. The fun part is being done on the weekends. The
I
actual
was
playing.
close. I was close on Saturday night, so had a great Sunday. Just laid on the couch, built a fire. I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan, and man, it was they did really well yesterday, so that set the Sunday off to just perfect.
I had a tough
Perfect
day yesterday,
afternoon.
man. I had a tough day. The Patriots did well in the first half, And my
Yeah.
son was talking all kinds of crap, and I was like, "There's still a lot of football left to be played, and I know this team, so let's pump the brakes a little bit here." And then, sure enough, they came out looking like the team that just came off their bye. Bears fan, that's what's up though. They're having a good year.
Man, it's so fun. So I've been a Bears fan since I was a little young man, because I grew up in New Mexico, Las Cruces. In a very pre-internet world of
Sure.
the 80s. And so the 85 Bears were just this iconic team, and I'm in like first grade. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go for the Bears, because that's just what everybody did. Whoever won the Super Bowl that year is like who you went for. But I just thought the Bears were so great. And then, of course, Brian Urlacher is from New Mexico, played high school and college ball in New Mexico. So for that reason, there's actually a lot of Bears fans in New Mexico because of Brian Urlacher. So, I've suffered many, many years, and they've never done good in like the meme culture in
Yeah.
like the moment that we live in now. And I am just dying with just, my feed is full of Bears memes and reels, and it's pretty great.
I think it's sustainable for you guys right now too. I don't think this is a fluke.
This is year one with Ben Johnson,
right? Yeah,
and Caleb Williams.
I think you guys are scary.
I mean, what he's already done.
You got that two-headed running back committee as well. Yeah.
Monungai and Swift, amazing. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun this year.
So I got to tell you, man, I have the opposite memories as you from that 85 Super Bowl.
From 85, I know you do. Yeah.
That was a tough year for us. It was very unexpected. I was only 10 at the time, so. And the Red Sox the same year, right? Like they just did their bad. Well, they were about to do the bad stuff with Bill Buckner and all that. But bury the Bears. I still have that shirt somewhere. It did not age well. I'll tell you that.
Well, neither did the Bears. Unfortunately, they had some very lean years, man, that they couldn't keep that team together.
Yeah, at least you got that year though, and I know that stood the test of time as far as like biggest ass whooping in the Super Bowl. For a while it had like the biggest score differential,
the biggest point differential for sure.
But we're talking about sports. That's what's up. That was unexpected. Let's talk about music a little bit. I was very, very honored and privileged to catch a somewhat of a Josh Grider show recently. We went to the Red River Songwriters thing that y'all do, which wasn't a full Josh show, but man, you get 5 songwriters. That's a bonus. But we did record a couple of songs from Josh from that night that I want to chat about today, and we're going to kind of sandwich the songs around the interview. The first one is my favorite Josh Grider song. I have to include it. It's called Two Truths and a Lie. Tell us about this tune, man. How did it come to be?
Well, Two Truths and a Lie is an old song. I bet Two Truths and a Lie is 15 years old, maybe at this point. Maybe not quite that old. 13. I wrote it with a gal named Stephanie Lambring, who's an incredible artist and writer. She lives in Nashville. We were living in Nashville at the time. And it was just an idea I'd had. I guess it's a game that people play, Two Truths and a Lie. But I loved this idea of this guy this couple torn up and making the two truths and a lie. I hate you, I love you, I miss you, and how when you're going through something like that, they can all be true and they can all be lies.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it was a cool idea, and I love songs in 3, like waltzes. There can just be such power in them. They're kind of slower by nature, but when you get the band on them, they can be really powerful. And it was just it worked well live. I've actually recorded it twice, and me and Stephanie just sat and wrote that. I don't feel like we finished it that day. I feel like it kind of took a minute to get it locked in, but it has really been a fan favorite over the years. Of course, it's drawing on long ago feelings. I haven't broken up with anybody in 23
Yeah,
years.
you better
or
never
something.
do that. Yeah, you better never do that again, by the way. I'm just saying that right
No,
now.
I have no plans on doing it, but our job is to use our imaginations, and I remember the feelings of that, moving on, but not quite moving on. Are we moving on?
Yeah.
Is this over? Do we
Mhm.
want this to be over? And it was just that mix of emotions that sort of did it. And I mean, the closest thing, these relationship songs, they come up, and as far as a relationship outside of, of course, my marriage, my relationship with the music business has been so tumultuous over
Yeah.
the years, as far as hating and loving and am I still doing this? Why am I still doing this? And then, the highs and the lows of the business. It's easy to channel those emotions into songs and kind of wrap them in the
Yeah.
context of a relationship to make them more, accessible, for just general folks that aren't in the business. But it's easy for me to get into those, crazy relationship vibes just because of my relationship with the music business.
Yeah, it's a great song, and I love where you went with that description of it because you're leading me into my own thoughts on the song myself as a fan of it. I love the fact that it can be very time based, right? Like at one moment in time, you could love her and miss her and hate her, but at another
Yeah.
time, it might just be a different feeling. Two of those things might be truer at a different time than they were at the first time. You know what I'm
In
saying?
the course of 30 minutes, they could all
Yes,
be true.
absolutely. And it doesn't have to be, I love how you're talking about how it doesn't have to be with a relationship either. It can be about addiction, for example.
Oh,
Just
man.
like the whole open ended. And I was hearing that as a standpoint of addiction. Like, I hate it, I love it, I miss it. And
Yeah.
which two of those are true at any given time with addiction, right?
Yeah.
Just such a cool song if you look at it from everybody has a personal response to a song, and it doesn't necessarily line up with the response that the songwriter meant, right?
Man, as soon as I hit distribute and it's out there,
Yeah,
or back in the day, as soon as you recorded it and pressed your CDs and sold it to this person, it's not your song anymore,
no,
man. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, it's always yours, but you give it, and people will interpret what they will. And I love, like, you know Drew and Walt and the great storytellers, artists, solo artists. They're not telling you what their song is about.
yeah,
They're just telling you a story, and weaving their way. But there's nothing to me. Don't tell me what your song's about. I want to. I'll either it'll be expressly clear what the song is about, and if it's not expressly clear, then I think it's beautiful to let people interpret a song however they
absolutely.
will. You don't want to limit somebody's appreciation for your song by telling them this is what this song's
Yeah,
about. You know what I
never
mean?
objectify art, right? You have to keep it subjective, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun in interviews to get the behind the scenes,
Sure.
but like, especially at performances, young writers, it's just like, don't just go like, well, this song's about this. It's like, no, I mean, if you want to talk, tell a story or something, but like, uh, yeah, I think you gotta leave, like, you gotta let people think what they will. And it's funny because they'll mishear lyrics,
Yeah.
or it's so situational. Like, yeah, if you were going through addiction, maybe that song totally hits you as an addiction song, because whatever we're going through, we tend to frame what we hear through that lens of
Mhm.
like where we're at. You know what I mean? And that's I never even thought of it as an addiction thing, and that's really, really a cool perspective on it.
Yeah, see, I'm not addicted. I'm not going through addiction, but like listening to songs, I keep an open mind on what it could be, and of course, I chat with a lot of songwriters. Very, very blessed to get to do that. So, like hearing their perspective on things is so cool. "Bless the Broken Road" is a good example by Rascal Flatts of a song that was originally written as a Christian song, and they turned it into a love song. And I mean, you can still vibe to it as a Christian song. And
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I mean, that's the cool thing about art, and not just songwriting, but all art. But yeah, we're off the rails a little bit. Let's show you guys the actual live performance of "Two Truths and a Lie" from Josh Grider. Y'all check it out. All right.
You know just where you are. Back on my mind again. When my number comes up on your phone after 12 a.m. I have wished you let it rain, but then you never do. And I can't help but think you ain't over me like I ain't over you. How have you been? Me, I'm alright. We both know the reason I call this time of night. A couple drinks in, whiskey on ice. I hate you, I love you, I miss you, two truths and a lie. You'll see it's way too late, and I'll see you're probably right. And you'll laugh when I ask if I can come over tonight. But you'll go unlock your door, turn on your front porch light. When that sun comes up, my truck will be in the drive. How have you been? Me, I'm alright. We both know the reason I call this time of night. A couple drinks in, whiskey on ice. I hate you, I love you, I miss you, two truths in a lie. Here we go again, one more last time. I hate you, I love you, I miss you, I miss you, I hate you, I love you, I miss you, I hate you, I still want you, two truths and a lie. Two truths and a lie.
All right, so we're back. I love how you talk about, trying not to tell the story of the song or where you were before playing it. But then at the same time, you mentioned Walt and Drew. You guys are playing a lot of those, storytelling rooms and listening rooms and stuff like that. And technically or typically, the audience wants to hear those stories. So how do you balance that?
Well, I think they want to hear stories. I don't know. I'm always just so impressed with, like Drew, because he'll tell these stories, but it'll be related to the song. Zane Williams is also really good at it.
Yeah.
Walt, the audience wants to be engaged. They want to peek behind the curtain, but I think when you can figure out how to dance around saying specifically, it's just assigning meaning to the song. You're like, this is what this song, and I mean, I'll contradict myself, and somebody could probably go on YouTube and find 50 examples of me saying this is what the song's about.
Yeah.
But you know, it's what you aspire to. It's just like tell an engaging story, you know, and some songs, you know, deeply personal songs, you can you know, you pull a little bit back. But I feel like people just want connection, you know. They just want real. And with, you know, AI taking over everything, I just think the experience of a live show and a songwriter talking to you and just telling you about, you know, what they had for breakfast, whatever, just delivering a good story in
It's
a
the
way
coolest
that
thing ever, man. Truly, like,
that
and
runs parallel to the song, maybe,
mhm.
you know, but isn't always just
And I think Drew is
exactly
so.
about the
You
song.
mentioned Drew a lot, and he's going to be a major part of the story today. But like Drew is so deftly good at just in involving his humor in a story to make you, you know, almost off guard to where you don't know whether to believe his story or not. Right? Like Drew is so remarkably good at that. Right?
Drew is the storyteller
Yeah.
of the highest order.
Just never know what's true and what isn't. Let's talk a little bit about your Genesis story. You mentioned growing up in Las Cruces, New Mexico. What's it like as a young Josh Grider around that part of the world?
Man, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It was a small circle. It was pretty family. I had some my cousins who I'm still really close with lived about 60 miles west of us on a big farm. So I spent a lot of time out there. One of my cousins we were about 3 months apart, and our mothers were sisters and very close. So you know, I would be out there on the farm riding the four wheelers and shooting guns and hunting and doing that stuff. And then he would come to Las Cruces, the city, you know, and we could go to the mall, go to the movies, whatever. You know, church was you know, very, very conservative upbringing, you know. So mom was always comfortable with us doing church stuff, you know. So that was a lot of like youth group and stuff is where I it was a lot of this like my social outlet, you know, when I was younger until I got older, you know, you could drive but you know, I mean, it was the 90s, man. We were leaving notes on each other's cars about where the party was or where to go and love notes from your girlfriend on your car and no cell phone and no way to document it. If you missed the party, you missed the party. And it wasn't that big a deal. Like you might be bummed that night, but you didn't have to sit at home and watch reels and videos of all your friends at the party having all this fun. It was just man, it's hard to even fathom how much smaller the world was. And being in Las Cruces, I mean, my gosh, we're a long way from everything. And it's almost like if it didn't fit in the Las Cruces Sun News, the local newspaper, if it didn't fit in the 30 minutes of Tom Brokaw's nightly news or the 30 minutes of the local news that came out of El Paso, did it even really happen? You know, like you were just so I don't know, removed. And of course I was young, so you're not as aware. There are people that I'm sure were more aware of the goings on in the world, but man, it was beautiful and I miss it. I Music was always a huge deal to me. My dad, a huge music lover. Music was always on. My mom could sing. She sang in church and stuff. And I started teaching myself how to play the guitar. Me and everyone else in the world took piano lessons and regret so deeply getting out of piano lessons
Yeah.
young.
Yep.
But the guitar came in. I started teaching myself how. I was really smitten over this girl named Sally, and I wrote my first songs for her when I was probably a sophomore in high school. She was a senior. It was a love that was never meant to be, but
Was that the inspiration? Because a lot of times you pick up a guitar and it's kind of either your escape from something or because you want to be involved in something. A lot of time it is girls, right? You want to be involved with a girl or whatever. But is the inspiration to write immediately after picking up an instrument, or is there some time in between?
No, I mean it's definitely the aching teenage heart is the inspiration to
Sure.
to write. To play, I figured out I could sing in about eighth grade. I mean, I always had sung, but like um, I started, I guess, to realize based on going to an amusement park and doing one of those karaoke demo things that you used to have in amusement parks. You know,
Yeah.
you can pick a
Mhm.
song and they record you and give you a cassette. And so I did that in like eighth grade on a class trip, It was very noticeable, the attention that garnered. And I was, especially from the fairer sex, and I
Mhm.
was like, wow, this is cool. I got to figure out a way. I mean, I can't just be like singing a cappella. There was this one buddy I had would like get karaoke tapes and like play them and like sing to it, and I was like, man, that's cheesy as hell. I don't think that's not the way. And my mom had this guitar, so I was like, I gotta learn how to play guitar. And luckily I have, just I had a good enough ear. I bought a chord book and just started. I just wanted to, and if any, anything that somebody wants to do, you figure out a way to do it,
That's right.
And again, that's the flip side. Like I can only imagine if I'd have had YouTube, I might have been too distracted to actually start playing
Yeah.
guitar. But like now, you can look up anything, how to play anything. I would go to the mall, Chris. I would go to the mall and I would look at sheet music if I was stuck on a song, and I would never buy it. I would just look at it and try so hard to memorize it. Like, oh, that's a B minor. Ah, that's the chord I'm missing.
Yeah.
Okay, B minor, B minor, B minor. Close the book and then try to get home as fast as possible to pick up my guitar
Yep.
and play it through the song. Be like, oh, that's it. Learning, and country songs are pretty easy to pick up by ear. But yeah, that was it, man. And then I started, playing at parties and starting to write songs. And yeah, girls definitely were the reason I started writing songs. But I wrote a song for our class graduation, and I don't even know the song. I don't even know if there's a recording of it anywhere. I mean, I'm sure somebody has it on VHS. You know what I mean? Like it just
VHS.
feels like a million years ago that all that happened. And now everything is just so documented. So I'm so grateful for growing up in this anonymous world
Yeah.
that, and we get to figure ourselves out. And now I'm raising teenagers, and I don't know. I don't envy them with all the technology stuff that
As a
they have.
parent, are you trying to teach them anonymity?
Oh yeah, and I don't even have to teach it that much. It's funny. Like my son, he doesn't post anything. Like like he finally, like we've kept him off of it for as long as possible, but he finally got old enough that he's like, seriously. We're like, all right. He's like, I can drive. Can I please have at least one social media thing? So, he got Instagram, but he doesn't post anything.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about watching reels and stuff. So I think that there is just, Christy and I always talk. We're like, what if social media, and I think it's already happening. What if this internet stuff is going to be like smoking was, like how we look back, we're like, God, they used to smoke on
I think so.
airplanes and movie theaters. They smoked everywhere. That was so dumb. And maybe future generations will be like, God, these idiots were posting everything they did, like anyone cared, like that was not a healthy way. Hopefully balance comes
I
with
think
that.
we're on
'Cause
the
I
other
think,
side of that tunnel right now. Yeah, I think we're coming out of that. I think people are becoming more private now,
yeah,
which is a
yeah.
good thing.
Oh man, like yeah, and it's such a catch-22. I mean, I'm posting like crazy about new songs, this that, it's something that you have to do, and it's a useful tool. But I think the personal stuff, like, man, keep some things to
Yeah,
yourself.
I think the
Jeez.
problem we're facing is that the personal has become such a business thing, right? Like people really gravitate to people's personal lives, right? So when
Yeah,
when we're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or something like that, and we see somebody that's going through a personal thing, whatever that looks like, telling their personal story, that sells. And unfortunately, the social media platforms know that sells, right? So
I
it
think
is
we're all.
indeed a catch 22.
Yeah, man. I think that first time that everybody like says Twix, and then the next ad in your reel is for Twix, you're like, wait a
Yep.
minute. Like you
Yeah.
kind of get that tingly, like, who's listening? Who's
Yeah.
what? It gets a little weird. And I don't know. I just think my generation, our generation, just the last of us that have just really distinct pre-digital life memories, like core memories. I mean,
Yes.
till 18, I wasn't on the internet, didn't have an email address till I was 18 years old. And then of course, now I'm completely a fully digital person living, in this whole digital world. But I remember, I have this understanding that life can work without it. So, I don't know. It's a real trip just watching it all. But you talk about when I think back on being young, that's just some of the stuff that I'm just the happiest about, growing up out there in the desert and just kind of being anonymous.
I love that it was outside validation that kind of turns you on to music indirectly with the whole karaoke thing, right? Like you sang, you had this physical thing in your hands that you could show people, and then they all freaking loved it, right? So like that outside validation probably really pushed you as a young person, because all young people, that's what we're looking for, right? We just want people from outside of our own selves to love us for something, anything.
I mean, 100%. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
big deal. It's been my entire identity for, it really as long as I can remember. Music was my identity, and it remains. And I'm grateful that I found something that I love to do, that I was good enough at to make a living doing, and it's just worked, because that's not always true for people, and that's okay. But I'm very blessed in that sense that I did find something. And you know the validation there is, it feels great to get that pat on the back, but there's also something deeper when it comes to the music. I mean, I think it's a calling, and I
Well, I
think
think
I'd
that
be doing
pat
it
on the back
either
means
way.
more to us when we're younger too, right? Like that goes away as we get older. Like, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh, people
Yeah.
all the time, dude. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, my kid's thinking about getting into music. Like, what should I say?" And I'm like, "Don't worry.
Yeah.
This is a brutal business, and it will weed that. Like, either they'll be incredibly successful really fast, and then if they're talented, maybe they'll be able to sustain it, or they'll get in the grind, and the grind will weed out the weak real quick.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
weak is the wrong word, but the grind will show you whether or not it's something that you want to do
Yeah.
real fast. Because yeah, it's fun in college. We start a college band. Oh, we're fun. We're the big men on campus, whatever. But then it's like, oh yeah, now you gotta make a living doing this,
Mhm.
and the rubber meets the road
Yeah, it's
real
one thing to
fast.
do it; it's another to find somebody to pay you to do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a free beer and chicken. You guys want to play? Hell yeah, we'll play. But then it's like,
Hey, exposure. Yeah, we'll
yeah,
give you exposure. Come play
you
our.
can die, as
Yeah,
Matt Skinner says, you can die from exposure.
you damn straight you can. So, was you end up moving to Texas at 18? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was the motivation for this musically based?
This is one of the great questions I asked myself, Chris. I had a phenomenal music teacher in high school. Her name was Diane Schutz, and she really is the reason, because I was playing guitar a little bit, but she really pushed me on stage. We had a great choral group. I was in the choir, but like small groups, and we would sing at Rotary clubs, and we would have to take little PAs and set up. I mean, she literally had us gigging at 14, 15 years old. Like,
Wow.
you would ride in the car with upperclassmen to get over to the Kiwanis luncheon and set up a little PA and sing some show tunes or whatever. So that, like, I understood that, and I wanted to, to start a band and stuff. And she really encouraged me to audition at colleges for music. She thought I had a chance, and she was right. And so I had scholarship money at TCU, and then I also had it at Belmont in Nashville,
Wow.
and then at Baylor. And for reasons that I can only, think are, cosmic and divine, I ended up at Baylor because I think Christy Foster also ended up at Baylor, and I think I was supposed to run into her. But yeah, man, I got to college. I wanted to start a band, play some music. I had gotten just barely turned on to the Texas music scene. My cousin, we knew a guy that had gone to A&M, and he'd come back home and he with like Robert Earl Keen tapes and Jerry Jeff Walker, and that stuff was kind of getting in, and it was just so different and so much more raw and real than the Alan Jackson and George Strait and Garth stuff that I'd really idolized as a teenager. And some about it just seemed more accessible. And I've said this before, like, once I got to Texas, I started seeing these guys. They would roll up in vans to clubs and play to a few hundred people and move on, you know? And it was like, that was accessible. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I could drive a van. I could get a band together, because up to that, I'd seen concerts, but they were like massive arena shows. And like, when you're 16, 17, 18, you're like, how do I get from here to there? Like
Man.
that just seems like 100. I don't even understand that, but I just saw something and I saw how people reacted, and I think that, you know, I just think it was where I was meant to go, because Texas has been so good to me. I mean, I'm sure Belmont would have been a trip to get it to Nashville at 18 in 1998. I mean, there was still some really, I mean, there's always been really great music being made there. It would have, the journey would have looked a lot different, but I knew there was music in Texas. I was a little bit hip to this Texas music thing, and I wanted to go see what I could find there. I definitely started looking for a band as soon as I got to college.
Jeez, what a way to look at it, man. Isn't that what, I mean, I feel like humans are that way, right? If we can picture ourselves in the shoes of somebody else that we strive to be, then that's the lane we're going to take, right? So, and regardless of what that looks like, whether it's because of race or standing in the world or financial or whatever it is, you saw yourself as one of those Texas guys and not one of those arena guys, and that's why you followed that path, because you saw yourself there. You could picture it.
Yeah, it just was more tangible, and of course at this time, you know, I've written a few songs, but I'm starting to get into songwriting, and really, if I have a passion above all this, it's writing. I just love writing songs, and I started the reverence that Texas held for the songwriter. And don't get me wrong, Nashville, the songwriter is the king of Nashville for sure. But I had just grown up looking at the big name on the front of the record, and I didn't understand the difference. And I started to have so much more respect for the guys in the little print underneath. And sometimes that was the same name. But when I got to Texas, it was almost exclusively the guy on the front of the CD was also the dude that wrote all those songs. You know, my first 3 CDs: Owen Temple, General Store, Corey Morrill, Man That I've Been, and Pat Green, Here We Go.
Wow.
Like, it's like, you know, of course, I'd had that Robert O'Keefe record before that, but like, these guys, man. And I was going to these shows, and of course, you're 18, 19, 20, you're doing all these things, you're away from home for the first time. Like, just, man, I was just hook, line, and sinker. I
Man,
thought
you
the
just
Texas
named
thing
3
was
people
so
who
good.
went to Nashville and came back to Texas too. I don't know if you realize that.
Oh well, I mean, everybody does. It's not a Texas versus Nat. I mean, they're 2 different things.
They are.
I mean, the best. There is no stronger collection of great songwriters in the world in proximity wise than in Nashville,
I
Tennessee.
agree.
mean,
Yeah.
it is the best songwriters that you will ever be around. Now, Texas has its giants of songwriters. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about just a place where the song and the songwriter is revered. You know, Nashville is just that, and I think in Texas it's the singer songwriter, it's the artist.
Yeah.
You know, what did you write? What do you play? Like, it's sort of the connection. Whereas in Nashville, it doesn't matter if you perform ever. If you have 0 records, if you're a hit songwriter, you are the king.
There's a massive
That's
difference
it.
in commercial versus creative too, right? I feel like I think Texas allows you to be more creative than Nashville does, and I think that's just because of the professionalness of Nashville, right? You've got everybody's on a publishing deal there, and that means you've got somebody over the top of you that's paying you to essentially write songs, and you have to be more commercial there than perhaps you have to be in Texas, just because of freedom, right? I think.
I mean, it is the commercial music business. They're
Yeah.
trying to write songs to get on the radio, to get up the chart. It's a business. I mean, it's the music business, and I don't think that's any less true down here. People are writing songs hoping to fill up venues to make money. I mean, if you get in the commercial music business, the point of it is to write songs that resonate with people,
That's right.
and therefore those people buy your tickets to your show and buy your records and make it so that you can have a living in the creative space. It looks a little different, and it's been made to be like this over here. But at the end of the day, man, it is sitting down trying to make up a song that moves somebody.
Yeah. There's not
and-
as big of a divide as people make it out to be, really, truthfully.
No.
Yeah. There's
No,
not.
no. And again, yes, if you listen to the radio, if you listen to what finally makes it, that's one thing. But when it comes to a songwriter, man, a songwriter's a songwriter's a songwriter.
Yep.
Like,
No matter where you
and
are. Yeah.
those guys up there are masters because they do it every day, and they've given their whole lives to it, and that is certainly true for songwriters in Texas too. But down here, what we're so fortunate is you can be a songwriter and an artist. And for a long time in Nashville, there were songwriters and there were artists.
Yep.
Sometimes you'd have songwriter artists, your Alan Jacksons, these great writers that were also great artists. But there was kind of two things, and down in Texas, it's always kind of been this one and the same.
Yeah.
The singer songwriter.
It's funny.
I'd
That's
say
kind of
that's probably the biggest difference.
that's shifting a lot in Nashville now too. I've noticed through my interviews.
Yes.
A lot of these guys that are in publishing firms and stuff like that used to just write with other people, on the roster of the publisher. Now it's shifting to where one writer will write with the artist of the song. And so now the artist has the co-writing credits on the song that they're fixing to perform. Apparently this is a new shift that's happening within the last year or two. There are a lot more of what they call artist co-writes.
That is definitely true. I mean, it's all a function of the streaming revolution and the digital revolution that we're in. Again, when I harken back to the '90s, man, that's when you got songs on the radio. You know what I mean, and songs on albums, and people bought records. And if you had track 7 on a Garth record that sold 10 million copies, you were still being pretty fairly compensated for that track 7 that never got on the record. And now, if it doesn't get to radio, the as far as the publishing and the songwriting royalties, it's pretty tough, and that it's getting tighter and tighter. So yeah, artists are getting on a lot more songs. It's all getting, and songwriters that I know, guys that maybe used to would have just been happy to go to work and write songs and let the artist do all the work. They're gigging a lot more. Songwriters are playing. Songwriter festivals are popping up all over the place. I mean, I'm co-owner of 2, because the royalties that songwriters made and the way that songwriters are compensated has been so drastically cut that they're like, dang, I need a piece of this artist money. I need a gig, man.
Yeah, you see a lot of that. I wish I lived closer to Nashville just so I could hear some of the shows those guys are doing, right? Like playing their songs that are known from a different artist. That always interests me. The back of the record, like you were saying earlier.
The little names.
Yeah, I love those. That's why I have this show, too, so I can talk to people like that. We just had Stephen Dale Jones on the show who co-wrote One More Day for Diamond Rio. Good example, right? Like, that's a guy, he's a freaking genius, man, and I wish more people knew who he was, It just it hurts me, dude. I'll keep it real.
There's so much. There's so much out there.
There's so many of them, yeah. So what's your process look like for writing songs? Is it more melodic or lyrical at first, or is it kind of a combination?
Man, I think at this point, it's just being, I think if you want to be a great writer, you got to be a great listener. And I'm not saying I'm a great writer or a great listener, but I aspire to be both of those things. And if you listen, there's ideas everywhere, whether it be little melodies or turns of phrases or something you read. It's just like really honing that radar. And so my radar works a lot of times. It'll be a turn of phrase, for instance, this new song I have out called Broke,
I was just going to say, going for broke is the turn of phrase, yeah.
I just had this idea of like, it's the old adage, you can't take it with you kind of thing, It's like when I'm done, I want to make sure all my love yous I said, I don't want to hold back anything. I just want to lay it all out there, from the get-go. And so I just had this idea of Broke, and like I wasn't sure how it would all frame out, but I knew that I was going to write with Tony Lane through Bobby Hamrick. The three of us wrote that song, and Tony is just
incredible.
Just a big time hero of me and so many people. And it was the first song I ever wrote with him, so I had like 10 ideas like that I thought could be songs that I really wanted to get like the Tony thing on. And I brought that idea up, and he was like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." And I'd asked Bobby, I was like, "How should we do this?" He's like, "Man, let's just throw out ideas and see what Tony's feeling, and if he jumps on something, let's write it." And so I was so glad that he jumped on that idea, and man, it just came out so cool. It said exactly what I wanted to say. But that song started just with the idea, the word broke, and how you could twist that word, because that word could be taken very, there's a lot of not good connotations with the word broke, and I knew that, but I was like, if we can frame it right, it's gonna be like, hell yeah, I want to go broke too, because like not a lot of people say that because they're
Man, I
thinking
love
about
that.
dollars.
Yeah, I love that
But
because that's the first thing I noticed about the song is how you turned it from a negative to a positive in the song. It's such a cool concept. Sorry for
yeah,
cutting you off. I was
no,
so excited about that in this song. Yeah.
yeah, like just reframe what's, what is the most valuable things in your life,
Hmm.
and for me, I mean, truly, it's experience, and it's hanging out with people, and being around, and of course we all need money to live and get by, and it's not about being destitute. It doesn't say I want to be broke, it says I want to go broke.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, it's cool. I really wrestled with that idea, but those guys really helped me that we could present it in that
It's
way.
such a
Other
cool concept. Also, using time as currency in the song,
Yes,
right? It's such a. I mean,
it's
time
the
should be the
only
biggest currency. I feel.
it's the only thing you can't make more of, buddy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's, I don't know. I love that, but there's also times where I'm gonna be playing guitar and I'll hit a little lick that I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then these phones, again, the two-headed monster. The great thing about them, you just hit record the little riff, and then I see my calendar. I know who I'm writing with coming up. I know what the purpose of the write is. If I'm writing for myself, I write either alone, or I'll write with trusted people that I know will like vibe like how on what I want to get. But I write with a lot of other artists and people trying to write for other people too. So maybe I'll hit a lick. I'll be like, oh man, that sounds like something so and so would be into, and I'll save it, and so that I know next time I'm gonna see them in a month, and I'll be like, hey, dude, I had this thing, I thought about you, and if they're like, cool, then we'll jump off and kind of create the song from there.
Well, I mean, that's a giant room. First of all, like Tony Lane and Bobby Hambrick and Josh Grider.
That was a big room.
That's a giant room right there, and
Yeah.
just incredible stuff. I mean, you're talking two incredible songwriters that are on the back of the record, right? Of songs
Yeah.
that everybody knows
Many times. Yeah, many times.
many times. So, do you feel? Here's a question for you. Do you feel like you belong in that room?
Um, Depends on what day you ask me.
I'm asking on Monday, Josh.
Yeah, on Monday, man, I'm grateful that I got to be in that room. That's it. Imposter syndrome is real. It is a struggle that all
Absolutely.
artists fight with, and I would be lying to you if I said it's not a battle that I fight nearly daily. But you know what? My prayer has always been, if God doesn't want me to do this, stop me. Like, but stop me, because I want this, and I've wanted it, and I continue to want it, and I continue to love it, and I will scrap. And if you put up a wall, I'll try to climb over it or dig under it or break through it. Like, stop me. And so he never has. There's been dark times where I thought, man, this is it. I don't see how we can continue. And then some little crack of light will come, and I go to that, and you break through the wall, or and then you get to the other side, and you're like, all right, we're cruising again. And then something happens, and you're like, oh God, is this it? So, yeah, I wouldn't have been there if I didn't belong in it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I've worked hard, and I I feel comfortable in a lot of rooms. Was I nervous? Yeah, but not because I don't know how to write a song, but it's like you get in a room with the hero and you're like, I just hope this goes good.
Yeah, measuring up would be something, right? Like,
You just hope that the guys you write with leave and go, that was cool. I'd do that again. Like,
right?
that guy
Yeah.
knows what he's doing, because yeah, there are times that I'm sure is true for you. It's like, I'm still just that dude plinking out songs at 17 in Las Cruces, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, you just did what? You just wrote with who? Like, who
It's
are you? How did this
crazy.
happen?
It's
And
such a roller coaster too, though, right? Like you have those moments where you're just like mind blown. Like this is one of them for me. Like talking to you, Josh. I'll keep it real. But at the
yeah.
same time, the other side of the coin of that is like really understanding. Like, look, it's because of something you did and that you're good at that allowed that opportunity to happen. And so, I mean, you have to look at it that way too. Here's a question for you: when you're in those rooms, does your imposter syndrome stop you from being vocal in those rooms? Like, are you afraid or nervous or apprehensive to bring up an idea because of those inner voices?
No, not anymore. But that's something you got to learn. That's certainly not always been the case. I mean, I've been through 3 publishing deals now, and I mean, I'm 45 years old. Like there are times I have to look in the mirror and go, "You're a grown ass man. Just say what you're thinking. What's the worst that's going to happen?" But it took me a long time to learn that. For a lot of reasons that I could kind of maybe point to, but no, no, to be a great co-writer, you just have to be unfiltered and you just have to speak and just say the stuff. And especially if it's an idea that you bring. I mean, the dynamics, like you could do a 2-hour podcast just on the dynamics of a writer room. They're so interesting, but it's like whoever, everybody will kick ideas and then you kind of go on one idea, and whoever says the idea, they kind of get they're the judge and jury kind
They're
of on it,
basically they get the
like,
keys to the car, basically.
right. Everybody's gonna sit there and spit lines and stuff, but like if they kind of have this formed idea in their head of like what they're going for, then you kind of defer to that and you just try to support it as much and as well as you possibly can. um but no, I tell everybody, say everything, because you don't know what you will say might trigger me to think of something I wouldn't have otherwise thought of.
Good stuff. Yeah.
When you're young, and it's something that you have to learn. But I always tell, it wasn't always that way for me, but no, at this point, if I think it's worth saying, and I think as you evolve as a songwriter, I've described it as like a it's like mesh, and when you start out, your mesh is real wide and a lot of stuff will fall through it, but it just gets tighter and tighter as you write more and more, so that only the good stuff kind of gets through. Like you'll
Right.
stop yourself from saying something because you'll just be like, nah, I know this isn't going to work, I'm not going to say that. Like, but when you're young, just spit it out, because there's nothing more that a songwriter wants is just to hear energy. Just keep the room going, keep it moving, and even if it's not what we're going to use, somebody spitting ideas. Yeah, the answer to the question is, at this point, no. I'm not afraid to speak up and
Good
say, I
stuff.
think it ought to be this.
Yeah, that's growth and evolution. Yep. Good
Yeah.
stuff. All right, I got this new segment I started doing recently. I think you'll be the second one I'm doing this with. It's called 3 Names. So I'm going to hit you with a name and just tell me the first thing that comes to mind, okay?
Oh boy. Okay.
All right, Walt Wilkins.
My brother, mentor.
All right, Drew Kennedy.
My brother, and my buddy, my dude that I've been through all of it with. We've just been in lockstep, it seems like, for so many years, doing the thing, doing the life thing and doing the business thing. Just I couldn't be more grateful to have that dude in my life. That was
Always,
more than one thing.
always find it ironic that both of you guys are from outside of Texas and just incredible Texas songwriters, honestly, both of y'all. Last one, Gunnar Latham.
Man, brother again comes to mind. He is he's taught me so much. He's allowed me to he's allowed me to finally become what I think I moved to Nashville to become when I was 30. But that is like truly a songwriter for an artist, a producer for an artist, someone that has allowed me to flex that part of my mind and to really serve an artist. And that's someone that I believe in a lot. I think just the world of him as a human and as an artist and as a writer. And I think he could be a real big deal one of these days, but I don't care either way, just because when he showed up in my life was the perfect time, and he ignited some things and shuffled some things in my brain that really needed shuffling at that time. And yeah, I'm forever grateful for that guy. Grateful. That's the word.
Good stuff. All right, so I mean, one of the major reasons, probably the major reason why this podcast came to be today, guys, is because Josh Grider has brand new music coming in 2026, and the first single from the new record is already out. It's called "Broke." We talked about it a little bit earlier, and it's been 5 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, since your last release. Man, this is going to be an exciting time for you, man. Talk about what's coming for us.
Well, I went into the studio earlier this year and we cut 5 songs. I mean, it's going to be an EP. That's just what it's going to be. Songs that I love. One of, I think, just the best songs that I've ever had the privilege of being a part of is going to be on this project. It's a song called Tough that I'm really excited about. A song that I wrote for Christy called Once Queen of Kirk County. I'm really excited about. There's a cover on this thing, an old Dennis Lindy song called Where Have All the Average People Gone? And then this little kind of almost jazzy, country, straighty kind of thing called Night Like This. But it was co-produced with Rachel Loy, who has a bunch of credits. She's an excellent bass player and songwriter and producer and singer and all the things. But she's a dear friend, has been for many years. And so I looped her in to help co-produce this with me. And it's, I don't know, man, it's just, I see it around me all the time with artists like Gunnar and these artists I work with. They're just always putting music out. And I've just sort of had my head down, writing songs, producing Gunnar, working on some stuff for Christy. But this year I was like, it's time. I need to record some music because I've been performing these songs and people are like, where can I hear this? And I'm like, I know. I got to cut them. So we did, and we'll have it out. It looks like March, the full thing will drop. We'll have another single out, and then we'll do the full thing in March.
Man, I'm so excited, dude. I can't tell you, man. It's been a long time for Josh Grider music, and I'm one of those guys that would be on you if I could, right? Like, come on, man. Let's hear these songs. And I got to tell you, man, just to give you some flowers, too, Christy Grider's EP, your wife's EP, is legitimately one of the best recordings I've ever heard.
Thank you.
Yeah, just incredible stuff. And, I mean, she's technically a debut artist. That was her debut solo record, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there was one before. That was her second EP. Okay, but yeah, it was just so good, and I love the journey of that EP so much. So I'm excited about hearing yours too, and I know it's going to be different because I know you guys have different vibes. But she is her own artist and her own thing for sure, and. As I am mine, but it's fun when we team up too and do our thing together. That's been successful for us too. So, man, there's just so much music out there, and I'm very lucky to be a Topo Chico cowboy and a Red River songwriter and half of the Josh and Christy Grider duo, and just do my own thing. I love playing by myself, but I think music is meant to be played with other people. So I guess if I'm honest, I really have the most fun when I'm on stage with at least one other person, to bounce it off of. I think it's a collective experience, and when it comes to performance, I think it's always fun to have. You just mentioned a lot of hats that you're wearing. You're also obviously wearing musician and artist and songwriter and touring artist, stage performer, entertainer, and you have to balance all that with being a family man, a husband, and a father as well.
I've always I get tired of stuff, I like having the multiple outlets for my energies because too much of the same thing and I just get bored of it, so I'm on my toes, that's for sure. And I'm very lucky to get to do what I do still after all this time. And the calendar, 2026 is already filling up and new music coming. It's all good, man. It's wonderful. And folks like you that want to interview and talk about it, I'm just appreciative for all of it.
No problem, man. Let's talk about the second song. I gotta include this one just because it's such a jam. Tell us about West Texas Cloud Appreciation Society.
Oh man, now we're talking Topo Chico Cowboys.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a song that was written over Zoom in the pandemic. Bobby Hamrick had been out to our festival. Me and Drew have a festival in Marathon, Texas, Marathon Songwriters Festival. And Bobby had come out there, and the West Texas Cloud Appreciation Society was a T-shirt that they sold in Marfa, and an Instagram account, basically, is all that it was. This existed before the song.
Okay.
And Bobby saw that. And anyway, me and him and Drew were getting together on Zoom to write a song. And Bobby's like, man, I have this idea. And he told us that thing. And of course, we'd both seen the shirts and we were aware. We're like, okay, how would that be a song, you know? And Bobby whistled that little part and played a little bit. And we were like, oh, all right, in. And Bobby really, truly is a genius, you know? So I'd follow him anywhere on a song. And so we had the song. It was just perfect. And, you know, we'd had one Topo Chico Cowboy thing out, but that was just, I mean, there couldn't be a more Topo Chico Cowboy song, you know, like it was just perfect. So when we did our next project, we just had to put it out, and man, people love it. It's the whistling, the pictures, just the West Texas vibe, you know, which Drew is all about that life. That is where I'm from. I mean, the desert, like all of it. It just worked, and people. It's so fun to hear a big old crowd of people just gently whistling along with you. I tell Drew that's what 45-year-olds look for at their shows. It's no mosh pits at Topo Chico Cowboy shows. It's just people gently whistling.
Oh my God, that is so funny, bro. Oh, because I'm only laughing because that's exactly what happened at the show that I recorded the song
Yeah,
from.
dude, it's just such a great little part. But that is so much Bobby Hamrick, and me and Drew just jumped on it, and we got that thing written in a couple hours. But it's just proof. It's been proven to me over and over. You know, you spend a few hours writing a song, and you just never know what's going to happen. You know, but we knew when we wrote that we were like, this is quirky and cool. But to think that it would become like the marquee, like the banner song for the Topo Chico Cowboys. You don't see what's coming. You don't know you never know what's going to happen. And that's the intoxicating thing about writing them. It's like, this could be the song that changes
That's
everything.
right. Absolutely. I love it, and I'm so excited to show it to y'all. I love this song because I don't think I've been to West Texas but one time, and that was just driving to Phoenix, and it was the middle of the night, so I really don't count that. So,
You missed it.
yeah. So, like, it just took me there, right? Like, I know what West Texas is about just from this song. So, y'all check it out. All right.
Oh, in fine form. Very hydrated.
If you look out your window and the view has got you bored, the ceiling above you is somebody's floor, and the sky that you see is just a sliver between the gray of some buildings and the green on some trees. Join the West Texas Cloud Appreciation Society for the best stretch of blue line horizon that you'll ever see. If you like cactus and horses, tequila and porches, at every gorgeous shade of purple and red, join the West Texas Cloud Appreciation Society. 'Cause this world needs more sky connoisseurs who eat all of their TV dinners outdoors, out where you can always look up and get lost. So if you're a fan of God or Bob Ross, join the West Texas Cloud Appreciation Society. For the best stretch of blue light horizon that you'll ever see. So if you like salsa, or wheels in your waltzes. Got a beat in your hair, or a hat on your neck. Join the West Texas Cloud Appreciation Society. You like cactus, yeah, and horses, yeah, tequila, yeah, and torches, yeah, and every gorgeous shade of purple and red. If you like beat in your salsa, five wheels in your waltzes, got a beer in your head, or a hat on your neck. Well, once you look up, you won't ever look back. Join the West Texas Cloud Appreciation Society. Take it from me. Join the West Texas Cloud Appreciation Society.
Check it out. All right, so we're back, and so we're going to do our off the rails segments with Josh, and then we'll get him out of here. I appreciate your time today, man.
No problem.
So this used to be called Having Fun, but sometimes it gets really deep, so I had to change the name of it. So now it's called Off the Rails. So
Okay.
basically, these are just a bunch of little short segments we're going to do for TikTok and Reels and things like that. This is usually a lot of fun. First segment is called either Did You Know or Algorithm. Which one would you rather do?
Algorithm.
All right, so what is on your algorithm right now?
It's pretty consistently cooking videos and surfing videos and hunting videos because it's hunting season.
Man, I got so mine changed so much recently. I watched an entire one of those constitutional auditor videos.
Oh yeah.
I should have never made it to the end of it because now that's all
yeah.
I'm getting, man.
You're
God.
you're covered up. You're covered
that
up.
was so unfair. All right, next one's called Impactful. Can you name 3 people that impacted your life in some way, and then tell us the number one thing you learned from each of those people?
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, my parents just had an enormous impact because parents do. I had good parents. They taught me the value of hard work, of honesty. Do what you say you're gonna do. Be on time, and don't don't mess around. Just be a good person. My parents for sure. The aforementioned Diane Schutz, she taught me so much in high school. She was my music teacher. She's the one that pushed me on stage and really let me understand that there could be a not just a class in high school, but a whole life in music. And I think about her and I thank her every chance I can because that was very, very important. And I mean, if you don't learn stuff from your spouse, you don't learn from anybody. Christy Grider's taught me so much in the last 25 years that she taught me about love and patience and forgiveness and patience, especially just because this ride has been up and down and all around, but just being somebody that's constantly there for you, consistency. I've learned a lot from her.
Yeah. A good woman is so paramount, man. It's so important to grow as a human being, I think. I mean, I've been married 10 years now to my wife, and I have not grown more in those 10 years. And I mean, I've grown more in those 10 years than the prior 40, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how that works. All right, next segment is choose either Mount Rushmore or the other one is called One Artist. Which one would you rather do?
Mount Rushmore, I guess.
All right, so who is on Josh Grider's Mount Rushmore of most influential artists to you?
Brian Wilson.
Hmm.
Roger Miller. George Strait. And probably Walt Wilkins.
Gotta love it, man. Hell yeah, I love Walt Made It. Let's go. All right, man, what a foursome that is. All right, I'm picturing it. All right, next segment's called What the Heck. This is a game show style segment where I'm just going to give you 5 questions. And just tell me the first thing that pops into your head. All right, here we go. Let me see here. What is your best curse word alternative?
Dern.
Dern, okay. Number 2, what do you think cats dream about?
The dogs.
That would be a nightmare. All right, number
Well,
3.
A dream nonetheless.
All right, let's say you're riding into battle, and you can ride on the back of any animal that is either shrunk or blown up to the size of a horse. What animal are you choosing and why?
I'm riding in. I think I'm riding in on a horse. Can I just ride on a
Yeah,
regular side, like
you
a
sure
nice,
can.
healthy horse?
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There's the broke again, see?
Yeah.
All right, I might have to amend that question. Everybody keeps saying horse. All right, number 4.
Well, I mean, I did think maybe an ant.
That
they're
would
really,
be badass.
They're super sturdy, you know.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be a good answer as well. All right, I've heard scorpion. I've heard lion. All right, number 4. If you wrote a book, what would it be about?
It would be about. Gosh, if I wrote a book, what would it be about? It would be a cooking book of some kind, I think. A culinary exploration of some kind or another.
Culinary exploration. Let's go. Put that into a song. There's a challenge for you.
Yeah.
Number 5. What happens if you get scared half to death twice?
Oh, you're dead?
I don't think so. So this is a math equation here, Josh, right? So
Okay.
as long as it doesn't happen quickly, right? In other words,
Uh-huh.
if you don't get scared half to death twice within, say, a certain window, maybe 30 seconds,
Yeah.
then you still have half of your remaining life left. Always.
So you can never actually be killed by being scared half to death.
That's right, as long as you don't do it quickly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. you
Fair
see, so,
enough.
like, if you have a full life,
Math
let's-
was never my
yeah,
strong
let's
suit.
call it 1. You get scared half to death. Now you have half a life. Then you get scared half to death again. You still have a quarter life.
Yeah.
You can never die. It's amazing.
And down she goes.
Yeah, I highly recommend trying it. Not really. All right. That was What the Heck with Josh Grider. Let's see. Next segment is either bucket list or fly on the wall. Which one would you like to try?
Bucket list.
All right. So what's on your bucket list of things you still want to do?
I would like to have a number 1 country song on the country airplay charts.
Okay. Now, you've had multiple number 1s in Texas, right?
I have, and very grateful for those.
Yeah.
And but I've never had one of the other things, so I'm all about getting something that I hadn't had
I
yet.
love it. All right. Next segment either is biggest lesson or moment of gravity. Which one?
Moment of gravity.
All right. So moment of gravity is kind of that one moment or event in your life that led you on the path to where you ended up, like kind of where you are now. Can you see what that event was for you?
Yeah. Let's see. I think I was a freshman in high school, and I was going deer. We had a deer hunting trip scheduled. It was a big deal. We always went for like a week to go deer hunting, and it was at the same time that the All-State choir auditions were happening in New Mexico. And I told this lady that keeps coming up, Diane Schutz, I told her, I was like, I can't audition. I'm not auditioning. I'm going hunting. She's like, no, you have to audition. You're good. I want you to audition. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to be hunting. And I didn't really want to, you know? And so she pulled me in at lunch one day and she made me just record a tape audition. And they just sent in the cassette tape audition. I ended up making it that year. And it was a seminal moment that was like, oh, wow, I made, you know, like I didn't even really know what it was. And there was like jealousies, people that, you know, seniors that had tried for 4 years that had never gotten
Wow.
it. And they're like, who's this dude doing this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I didn't even want to do it, you know, but then I did. And I would go on this trip, you know, and I mean, this is choir. This is nothing like what I'm doing now, but you get away and I just started to see that like, oh, maybe there is something to this music and maybe I should take it seriously. And that was just a real shift, you know, because really then for the rest of high school, like I said, she really made me get out there and start performing, and I just started to fall in love with performing and play, and that led to the writing and led to us talking right here, really.
Good stuff. I love that. Yeah. Part of the reason for this show is I really love to give people flowers for the life and career they created of an artistic person. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like, I want people that influenced you or mentored you to kind of get their flowers. And it's always interesting to hear the influences and mentors and places that somebody came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I think our educators play such an important role in shaping the lives of young people. They certainly did for me. My mother was a teacher. Christy is a teacher. And I don't know. I got a lot of respect for the teachers. It's not an easy profession these days at all. But they can have profound impact on young people.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, you talked about grateful earlier. The next segment is called Grateful. How do I ask this? What are 3 things you're grateful for, or the most grateful for?
Well, I mean, I'm grateful for my family, first and foremost, for sure. And I'm grateful for my blood family. I'm grateful for my musical family, which is, you know, Walt and Drew and Kelly and Susan and Bobby Hamrick and just those kind of pillars in my professional musical career. Grateful for that. And man, I'm grateful for my Smithy Ironworks cast iron skillet that I cook dinner in almost every night because we make some good vittles up in here.
Yeah, it doubles as a decent sized weapon as well.
You got to be a man to heft that
That's
thing
right.
around.
And then, like Gallagher used to say, it'll keep your neighbor kids in their own damn yard, right?
That's right.
You remember Gallagher?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, last segment. This could be the hardest one for you to answer, though. The segment is called "Who Do You Think You Are?" So, who is Josh Grider?
I am a husband and a father and a songwriter and a singer and one lucky SOB.
Yeah, a musical Swiss Army knife is the way your biography puts it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to be. Josh, thank you so much for doing this, man. Let me tell people where they can follow along with you. It's joshgrider.com. We're going to put a link in the description or the show notes. I get so many comments. Some people will be like, stop calling it the description. Like,
Yeah.
it's the show notes. So now I'm going to say both. Description or show notes. The link will be down there. Josh Grider's social media, you can go to @JoshGriderMusic on Facebook. On X, it's @JoshGrider. Instagram is @JDGrider. And I think YouTube is just @JoshGrider as well. So you guys follow along with all of that stuff. And we're talking March for the new EP, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll have, I think, a single in early February and then the full thing in March.
Well, I have a live podcast as well. Would love to have you on to talk about the record when it comes out if you want.
Let's do it. I'm in.
Yeah,
This has
okay.
been great.
Yeah, sure. I'll reach out for it. And, man, I appreciate you taking the time to do this, man. This has been a really good one for me. I wanted to chat with you for a long time. It was cool to meet you in person recently as well. Thank you so
Oh
much,
man,
Josh.
it was great to run into you. I get long winded, so you edit this thing however you need.
No.
but-
We don't edit, man. That's why we podcast. The only
Yeah,
time I'll
right on.
edit it is if one of us says something we regret, right?
Yeah, I think I'm good, but who knows?
You never know till you play it back, right?
I know, and that's the
It's
truth.
like, golly, it's already out. That's no good.
Hey y'all, this is Peyton Riley, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.